showing NTR projections for financial year 26-27.
Yes.
Hire and rent of Kololo grounds.
Yes.
1.4
trillion.
1.4 trillion.
Billion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who is your biggest client here?
We have NIRA. And then we have government also, sometimes renting the premises, and members of the public. So whoever wants to use the premises, we charge them for.
I want to know whether yesterday's function was paid for. I was there. National celebrations.
Actually, the president pronounced himself on this issue and said, even if it's government, it should pay for the services. Absolutely. Because you spent a lot of money in renovating these premises. Yes. So we will collect money from Office of the President. Okay, now concerning NIRA, this very committee also should get a home so we are chasing your client. Reason being, out of 30 working days, they get disruptions, I think, 10 times. You can imagine, they get disrupted, they can't continue working smoothly, and they are handling a national responsibility, that constitutional mandate of issuing out national IDs. So we want them to get out of Kololo and get a new home. So what plans do you have to have another client? Or if you're going to have a client whose services are going to be constantly disrupted, those are policy questions you need to answer with regards to NTR. I think that's the point taken, Chairman. I don't know when NIRA is getting out. I think they still have time, because to construct a building and enter it will definitely take time. So while they are doing that, I think... Of course, Honorable both, the business here, our concern is that NIRA's constitutional mandate is hindered by numerous national functions. So they need to have a home where they are they are working smoothly.
Honorable Chair, and I think it's Ministry of Defense has been a very, and still very committed tenant, very affordable, very effective. The inconveniences apart, I think this committee, you oversee Ministry of Defense and then also NIRA. So we shall ask you to balance the interests for effectiveness, but also efficiency and affordability, economy.
Okay. Yeah. We welcome Honorable colleague. Please introduce yourself.
Because you see these celebrations or functions which take place in Kololo, at times they don't inform. Imagine you are prepared for a wedding, then you find the next day you have invited all these gentlemen, including my honorable minister. Then you find the next day there is a function or a national function. What do you think it would happen to the bride and the groom? So I feel that actually NIRA should get its own home, so that with this additional function, especially the marriage registration, so that we don't inconvenience our citizens or our Ugandans.
Okay.
To make a case for NIRA to continue staying, we acknowledge the challenges that they have.
Okay.
But I wanted to invite members of this committee to refer to the archives of 26th of January 1992, which I think was circulating on the media, to compare the Kololo then, the ceremonial ground then, the bush. You would think it was somewhere in Kasha. Is that place? Okay, let's say Tororo.
In Tororo.
And Mulanda there. Yes. So with the now, and I think this committee should be commended for failing us resources to do that beautiful work there. So the management of who should be our tenant, I think we can find even still alternative tenants.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, we expect written responses from you.
To do business, to bring in NTR. But then we would want to know in their response if they could say, now for example, if it is a religious activity, how much do they pay? Because at one time there was conflict when these religious leaders had to say, I booked first, this one booked before, this one. There is always conflict. And how do you source the people to use? For example, if a particular party, political party wanted to conduct its delegates conference, for example, like mine aunt, how would you charge me? Would you be free?
I wanted to know.
Who comes first? Yes, Kololo. You can only find the Kololo. There is only one Kololo with such a space in the whole of Kampala and the whole of Uganda. With the beautification which has been made, the fencing, the utilities, the improvement, there's only one Kololo. So there's a lot of competition.
So, Honorable Minister, have you constituted a management arrangement for that Kololo? If I need to hire, where do I go?
The account.
Yes.
The people are here. I know that you want to hire for your sharing it, but we shall talk about that.
Yeah, a dedicated desk that handles the hire of Kololo airstrip. And we have like a schedule depending on who comes in when. So we hire the airstrip basing on that schedule. If you apply and you are first come, then you'll be first served.
So if NUP applied and NLM applied, depending on who comes first, right?
Well, okay. I think that's a political question, Mr. Chairman.
Such, we will never, of course, when you hire something, if we know that you may not be a very good, you may not manage your crowd well, we have also the liberty to say no. We don't want vandalism in that place, that when you cannot be. But we've never said that no to this political party. It's only that they mix up things. But if they are organized well, like the party where I belong, they have never been denied. Yeah. And I believe it's an open place. There have been several functions, not only political.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think we've spent a lot of Honorable Brown.
Yes. You want to, regarding services, you want to talk about the asset value areas that we...
Because we are guarding areas like these security installations. Yes. Okay. And of course the people that are guarding UPDF. And also areas like the dam then and
no. Okay. That's what the honorable member wanted to know.